hat, walking stick, and very dirty boots.
Miss Potter.
Mr. Mackintosh, how do you do?
Hi, fine.
He was quite painfully shy and uncouth at first, as though he were trying to swallow a muffin.
Sir.
Very good indeed.
He was certainly pleased with my drawings. His judgment, speaking to their accuracy, gave me infinitely more pleasure than that of critics who assume more, yet no less than poor Charlie.
Armillaria Melia. You've caught the colours perfectly. It always reminds me of, what you call it again?
I asked him to sit down, his head being somewhere in the chandelier.
Very good indeed. But I think there's something not quite right here. You have not defined the gills sufficiently.
I would not make fun of him for the world, but he reminded me so much of a damaged lamppost.
You need sketches to show where the gills meet at the stem. You should also draw sections of the stem. Aye, long sections from the cap right down.
I happened, by lucky intention, to have drawn several rare species. One, with white spikes on the lower side, he had discovered this summer for the first time in a wood at Merthley, and another, like a spluttered candle, he had found just once in the grass at the roadside near Inver Tunnel.
I'm studying slimes myself, water algae, but the other day I found this. You'll know it as velvet shank. It's better in winter, of course. I could send you fresh specimens to paint.
When we discussed funguses, he became very excited and spoke with quite poetical feeling about their exquisite colours. He promised to send me some through the post, though I very much fear he will never have sufficient assurance to post them.
Oh, I must be on my way.
He now lives upon his pension at Inver. This singular man is a great admirer of womankind,
Well,
so I'm told.
Thank you very much, Miss Potter.
He is forever embarking on yet another courtship, but they never come to anything.
Aye.
Either the ladies refuse him at the crisis, or more probably, he never asks them. He is a perfect dragon of erudition, and not Gardner's Latin either. His visit was a great success.
The holiday at Heath Park, Burnham, ended on October the 31st, 1892, and the Potters returned home to number 2 Bolton Gardens in Kensington. Beatrix was soon back in the rather dull routine of looking after her parents. But once again she sought consolation in her drawing and in her pets, including a particular guinea pig she had borrowed from a neighbour.
Our neighbour, Miss Paget, has an infinite number of guinea pigs. First, I borrowed and drew Mr. Chaps. I retrieved him safely. Then in an evil hour, I borrowed a very particular guinea pig with a long white ruff, known as Queen Elizabeth. This pig, offspring of Titwillow II, descendant of the Sultan of Zanzibar, and distantly related to a still more illustrious animal named the Light of Asia. This wretched pig took to eating blotting paper, pasteboard, string, and other curious substances, and expired in the night. I suspected something was wrong and intended to take it back. My feelings may be imagined when I found it extended a very damp, disagreeable body.
Beatrix! Where are you? I need you!
Fortunately, Miss Paget proved peaceable. I gave her my drawing.
The following year, the Potters returned to Scotland, this time taking a house called Eastwood. It was a dower house on the Athol estate, beside the River Tay at Dunkeld. It was here, on September the 4th, 1893, that Beatrix wrote a letter that was to become one of the most famous letters ever written.
My dear Noel, I don't know what to write to you, so I shall tell you a story about 4 little rabbits whose names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sandbank under the root of a big fir tree.
The tale of Peter Rabbit was not to be published for another 9 years. But in that letter to Noel Moore, who was the son of her governess Annie Moore, Beatrix found her style. There have been many theories as to the identity of Mr. McGregor, but Beatrix claimed that he was an amalgam of a number of people she knew. Clearly, the inspiration for many of the characters that were later to appear in her books date back to those early holidays in Scotland.
Beg pardon, miss, but this has just arrived from Scotland. Smells funny, Miss Beatrix.
Thank you, Lily.
Yes, miss.
Madam, the interesting fungus is a cortinarium belonging to the phlegmaceum tribe. But for its stem, which is not cylindrical and has got tawny, I would take it to be Cortinarius tomalis, but I am not sure of it. Yours when sent, Charles Mackintosh. Oh, Charlie, you are wonderful.
Beatrix's knowledge of the fungi was really deepening now. She knew a lot of them by name, including, for instance, this very interesting one, the Old Man of the Woods, very rare one. It popped up at Eastwood in 1893, and she painted it 3 times. In 1894, the family came back to Scotland, but this time to the borders.
Came to Lennell, Coldstream, on Tuesday, July the 17th, 1894. The house is large, rambling, roundabout, and not over clean, according to the servants. A perfectly awful garden full of broken bottles, rats, and piebald rabbits. My father groaned intolerably about the untidiness for several days. If I can form an independent opinion, I am inclined to like the place. It suddenly occurred to me that I was 28, not 29. A good deal of geology and Shakespeare might be stuffed into that extra year.
I am reliably informed that all those born in this parish are entitled to free burial here.
That's why we've seen so many funerals.
Well, some are brought from as far away as Edinburgh.
The carriage alone must equal the cost of the lair.
True. But when did you know a Scotsman, even a dead one, miss a bargain?